Hi, my name's Carrie. I'm the founder of Seekers Evolving, and I'm the facilitator and teacher for this course. I'm so excited that you decided to join us in this class and embark on bridging the liminal and empowering your spiritual practice a little bit more. It's really an exciting class. It technically covers a lot of foundational information, but I hope that the perspective that I bring you will really inspire you to think about your own spiritual practice differently. I also try to present this in a way that if you're just getting started out, maybe you've heard about some of these topics, maybe you've experimented a little bit, or maybe you have friends or people you follow on social media that are engaged in these practices and you kind of don't know where to start. I hope that this class will be perfectly tailored to give you a really solid foundation in both understanding why we do what we do and also kind of the techniques to start experimenting and finding out the niche that works for you and how you personally are meant to explore in your own spiritual practice, because I really believe that everyone's practice should be very unique to their own needs, their own preferences, their own energy, background, culture, etc. I think when you personalize it in that way, it is a lot more profound and meaningful and fun to engage with, to be honest. So, very few limitations as long as you're safe throughout the process, and we'll talk about that too. So, I think this is perfect for beginners, but I also think that this is really excellent for those of you who are maybe you are an energy healer or you're engaged in things like astrology or Reiki or some of what's maybe considered to be more new age spiritualism. And you know, maybe some witches or you've seen some witches on social media and you're kind of intrigued by it, but you're not really sure how it all works or how to get started with it. In that way, this is also bridging the liminal of those two types of practices, because I really started out in eclectic witchcraft for many years before I kind of, as a happy accident, stumbled my way into energy healing and some of the more quote unquote new age spiritual practices. So, of course, in the flip side, maybe you're a witch and you've seen people talk about energy healing, or you've seen people talk about different concepts like astral travel or intergalactic travel or different things in that way, maybe like spirit guides and how all that works. But you're more from the witchcraft side, like how I started, and you aren't really sure where's the right place to start. I hope that this will also, on that flip side, help kind of bridge the liminal and support you in navigating that connection point. It's kind of very personal to me of bridging that. I feel like I'm going to say this 50 times throughout this introduction, but bridging that liminal between both the physical world and the energetic world, but also bridging that eclectic witchcraft side and then more new age spiritual side together in a way that feels grounded and realistic to me and my needs. So I think this is perfect for that. And at the same time, even if you're a little bit more advanced, or maybe even you're a practitioner like me, there's still, I'm very confident and proud to say that there's still elements to this class that I think you can still learn from. And it's always good to kind of go over the basics again from a new lens and maybe pick up some like tricks or perspectives that you've missed out on or maybe haven't experimented with in a while. And then there's some channel content throughout this class that I think is very unique and will add some new and more nuanced perspectives to this discussion that will really benefit those of all practitioner or beginner levels. Wherever you're at, there's something here for you. So I'm really excited to offer this class. It's very close to my heart, as you can see, and I think it's a good place to get your feet wet with the many other classes that we have to offer at Seekers Evolving, and the ones that we will have to offer in the future as well that get even more advanced and more nuanced to this discussion. I really have kind of explored the gamut. Like I said, I have my background in psychology, where I went to college, and integrative health psychology and clinical counseling psychology. Those were my double majors. And so I started learning about how PTSD was actually being studied to be treated with energy healing and some other different studies like that. Learned about heart math and a very scientific oriented approach to energy work. And I'm very grateful that that's how I started out, because it is close to my heart. I'm very much into research and physics and that reality as well. I don't want to lose sight of that within my more metaphysical practices. And so that's where I started. So we bring that into the class. And then I started, because of my double concentration with integrative psychology, I started taking Tai Chi for a few years. And then I also started experimenting more with eclectic witchcraft. I worked with herbs quite a bit, some different rituals, and my mediumship skills started coming forth around that time. I also, of course, started dabbling into crystals as well. So things just kept fluctuating and evolving. So I have a pretty healthy background in eclectic witchcraft practices. I do have a background in more Celtic and Welsh origins. So a lot of my practices come from that, but I also take some Appalachian folk magic and some other forms of witchcraft from the area that I'm from, the Virginia, North Carolina area. My family's lived there for a very long time. So I have that. And then I also worked as a mental health worker for quite a bit. And that really evolved my perspective even more, because I think it really helped me be more realistic to, what everyone is capable of doing, and how some people have different accommodation needs, and just the really depth of perspectives that can come from the blessing of being a human. And I really, really was passionate about that work. And while, of course, this class is not about mental health, I want to pull that perspective and make you aware of that, and know that I've really done my best to make sure that this class is suitable no matter where you're at. I do talk about things like daily practice and meditation and such, but I also try to present these different topics and techniques in a way that can be customized based on what works for you. And so I'm excited for that part to be here as well. And then I also work with the Akashic Records quite closely. So we have some channelings from them in this class, and some of those perspectives. Everything is technically going to be channeled from the Akashic Records to one degree or another as I go to my astral office, my Akashic Records office, and that's where I write all of the material for this class. So we'll talk more about astral offices and Akashic Records offices at the end of the class. So look forward to that. It's a fun discussion and a really fun way to kind of step into more advanced parts of this practice. And let's see, that pretty much brings us where I'm at now. I have definitely become a little bit more advanced in astral travel and working with spirit guides and different beings in the interdimensional and intergalactic realms. So we do talk about that in this class as well. We have some different channelings from some other beings just to help provide a little bit more perspectives within my perspective on the class and on some of the topics. And we do talk about working with your spirit guides, how to navigate who they are, and even how to communicate with them, different things like channeling, how to safely astral travel, and how that even works. So I think this class really gives you a great chance to see what perspective I bring to the work that I do, and also inspire you to find your own perspective and give you the tools and the information and the techniques to do so in a really safe and empowering way. I do also, as I kind of close out this introduction that I got a little chatty with, I do want to let you know that when you get to the end of the course, after you've worked your way through all the sections, you will find that there's some references, and there's also like a link to some other books, some other resources like YouTube videos, because not everyone likes to read all the time. And honestly, just in general, there's some really good information in some of these YouTube videos with some other new perspectives. So I really encourage you to move from this class into some of these other resources, go to what calls to you and what resonates, what inspires you, and keep expanding your perspective, keep learning, keep exploring all that there is to offer, and you'll find your way, I think, in a very beautiful and well-rounded way that's safe and grounded, but also expansive to all of the possibilities that this world and all of the many dimensions have to offer. So thank you so much again. Welcome to the class. Have a good time, and I'll see you again.